Hi everyone, my name is Anne Logan and this is the I'veReadThis.com YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. The book I'm going to review is called Confessions of a Curious Bookseller by Elizabeth Green. This book is all about a bookstore owner named Fawn who owns the Curious Cat Book Emporium, and it's a used bookstore. And this cat here on the cover is named Butterscotch, and it's an epistolary novel, which means that it's told only in correspondence. So letters, emails, tweets, blog posts. She writes a lot of emails to her employees at the bookstore. She is a bookseller in West Philadelphia, and she lives by herself above the bookstore, and she feeds all the alley cats behind the store. She loves her cat Butterscotch, even though it pees on the books. And the bookstore itself is in complete disrepair. It's not doing very well. And the kind of plot centers around the fact that this brand new bookstore has opened just down the block. And it's a new bookstore, and it's owned by a guy with tattoos. And he sells coffee and has readings at night, that sort of thing. So this is kind of how the book was marketed, that this is all about this new bookstore coming into town and how Fawn's dealing with it. I was shocked by the fact that this is not a work of chick lit. And you can tell just by the cover that why I would think that. The color palette, the font that they've chosen, I thought for sure this book is going to be the story of Fawn falling in love with her arch nemesis, the owner of this other bookstore. That is definitely not what happens. There is no love story whatsoever in this book. It's not so much a battle between the two bookstore owners. It's this like internal battle that Fawn is struggling with. She is very bitter about her childhood. Her father owned a store and he made her and her sister work in it all the time and like get up before dawn to work there before they went to school every day. And she hates him and resents him for it. He's currently dying in a hospice and she refuses to go visit him. She lies to people a lot. She's very passive aggressive, especially to her employees. There's a quote here that I wanted to read you. So she wants to throw a little party for them. So she says, due to low morale, I have ordered Domino's. It will be delivered at noon, so you don't need to leave for lunch today. This is not necessary, but if you wouldn't mind throwing me $5 toward the pizza, it would be much appreciated. So that's the kind of boss that she is, which just like made me cringe when I read that. It's really quite shocking how unlikable Fawn is because, I mean, again, just looking at the cover of this book, you would think, oh, this is chick lit, this is contemporary women's fiction, and very typically there is this, strong bond that the author tries to build between the reader and the protagonist, and that does not happen at all in this book. Like, Fawn is very obviously she's not a terrible person, but she's not a great person either. And I think that could put off a lot of readers. In fact, there's not even no romantic storyline. There's a lot of instances where Fawn asks men out and they say no, which again just seems like this book is breaking all typical contemporary female fiction tropes, which I appreciated. But I feel like just the marketing of it is quite unfair because it's really makes you think that it's something that it is not. What else did I want to talk about? The format of this book really forces us to question Fawn as a narrator. There's that unreliable narrator again, but when you're only reading correspondence from her side or people writing letters to her, there's this question in the back of your mind the entire time where you're thinking, who is this woman? Is what she's describing really what's happening? Can we really trust her? And because she lies all the time throughout the book, it really feels like you can't trust her. So you sort of have this conflicted feeling as a reader. I never really felt that protective of Fawn. I felt more protective of her poor employees who had to pay for their own pizza parties. So it's not that I didn't like this book. I was just very shocked and surprised by it. But I think people who love reading books about books will enjoy this one, especially cat lovers. And speaking of cats, I have a cat I want to show you. Just hold on a second, I'll grab her. Come here, Makita. This is Makita. I think if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen some photos of her. So she's not technically our cat. We're babysitting her, but we've been babysitting her for almost 4 months now, so it's been pretty long term. And I'm not sure how much longer we'll have Makita, if we may end up adopting her completely. It's still kind of up in the air, but this is Makita. She's a big girl with sinus troubles, but she's very snuggly. She's just a little camera shy. Anyways, those are all my updates for the day. Thanks so much for watching. And yes, again, this is Confessions of a Curious Bookseller by Elizabeth Green. Tune in next time. I'll try not to go this long without posting video book reviews, but it's just something that I hardly get to these days. So apologies it's taken me so long. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!